Tonight's story is Curious George, Good Night Zoo. There was a new baby panda just born at the zoo. George had been watching the zoo's panda cam all day. That panda was so cute. You know, the zoo's right down the block, the man in the yellow hat said to George. You can go see the panda for your... But before the man could finish, George was gone. George got to the zoo and had one thing on his mind. Baby panda, baby panda. But there were so many different paths at the zoo. How would he ever find the baby panda? Do you know which way he should go? Then George saw a nice big map of the zoo. The baby panda's home was in the middle of the map of the zoo. The map helped him figure out which way to go. Seeing the baby panda in person was much better than watching it on the screen. George could look at the panda for hours, and he did. Before he knew it, it was dark. The panda was getting sleepy, and so was George. George knew he'd better get home. Time flies when you're watching a baby panda. But when George walked out of the panda habitat, the lights were off. All the people were gone. Uh-oh! George was locked in the zoo. How would he find his way out? George couldn't remember which path led back to the zoo's entrance. He started in one direction and spotted some keys inside a hut. Keys open doors, and doors let you out. All George had to do now was to find the right door to get out of the zoo. But there were lots of doors at the zoo. Uh-oh, I don't think that's the right one, do you? George tried door after door. None of them were the right ones. Oh my, look at all those doors to different animals. Soon he was back where he started, by the baby panda, and so were the rest of the animals. George must have forgotten to lock all the doors he opened. What fun! George thought that this was what the zoos should be like. That is, until he realized that all the animals were waking the baby panda. George knew what to do. He had to put all the animals back. He went as quickly as he could. But none of the animals seemed happy. Maybe meerkats don't live on ice, and those giraffes were awfully tall for that small cave. Were orangutans supposed to be in water? George knew that different animals had different needs. He realized he had to put the animals back. He had put all the animals back in the wrong places. Uh-oh. George needed to get all the animals back to their correct habitats. The penguins lived on the ice. The flamingos needed water. Luckily, George found an extra zoo map. Now he could easily see where all the animals lived. Meanwhile, the man in the yellow hat was at home waiting for George. He sure had been gone a long time. The man looked at the panda cam. George was still inside the zoo after closing time. The man rushed to find him. Penguins are back in the ice. The flamingos are back with water. Good job, George. George checked his map. Luckily, he was very close to the zoo's entrance. Everyone had gotten home. And even better, the man with the yellow hat was here waiting for him. George climbed over the wall and jumped into the man's arms. Yippee! Do you like the baby panda? Said the man with the yellow hat. George sure did. He took the man's hand and they walked home together. George was exactly where he had belonged. Did you know where all of the animals belonged? You know where you belong, don't you? At home, in your bed. I hope that you said your prayers and had your bath. And I hope you have a very good night's sleep. And please remember, Grandma loves you.